Welcome back to the 5th week of the Pie Radio Love Island Weekly Rundown. We left off last week with a couple dumping approaching. In the end, the public voted Aaron and Lucinda their least favourite couple, and therefore they were dumped from the island. The next day, the boys got a text that made them very excited. It was time for Casa Amor, and they snuck out without the girls knowing. All the boys were in romantic couples apart from Hugo, so we didn't really know whose head was going to be turned. Upon arriving at Casa Amor, the boys were greeted by 6 new girls: Salma, Mary, Kyla, Lily, Clarice, and Amy. And it's safe to say that the boys had no problem getting to know the girls as they played a game of truth or dare on the first night. Meanwhile, in the main villa, the girls were gifted with 6 new boys: Matthew, Mehdi, Harry, Dale, Jack, and Sam. Compared to Casa Amor, things were pretty dry as they played quite a tame game of Never Have I Ever. On the first night in Casa Amor, Jake and Teddy slept outside, but all the other boys shared a bed. Meanwhile, back at the villa, none of the girls shared a bed on the first night. The next day, both villas competed against each other in raunchy races. It ended in a tie, which meant that both villas got a party that night. As the only girl not in a romantic couple, Chloe got to know Dale. At Casa Amor, however, the majority of the boys seemed to be getting their flirt on with the girls. Hugo seemed to be interested in Amy. Tyler seemed to be interested in Clarice. Toby seemed to be interested in Mary. And most shocking of all, Liam seemed to be interested in Lily. The sleeping arrangements at Casa Amor stayed the same, with the only boys not sharing a bed being Teddy and Jake. The sleeping arrangements at the main villa also stayed the same, except Chloe shared a bed with Dale. Clearly, the producers were not happy with the way that the boys were cracking on with the girls at Casa Amor compared to the main villa. Therefore, the next day, they delivered a little postcard from Casa Amor to the villa. This implied that all of the boys at Casa Amor had been cracking on with other girls, except Jake. At first, the girls were quite shocked by this, but in the end, it spurred both Kaz and Faye to get to know the new boys. Kaz shared a kiss with Matthew. Meanwhile, Faye got to know Sam. Therefore, Kaz and Faye both shared a bed with their new love interests that night. That night at Casa Amor, Liam and Lily shared a kiss outside of a challenge. This seemed to suggest that Liam was definitely feeling Lily. It was then announced that the boys would be returning to the main villa. Therefore, each islander had to decide, would they stay with their couple or pick someone new? First up, Chloe decided to recouple and she chose Dale. Thankfully though, Hugo did come back with someone because he brought Amy. Next up was Abigail. Now while she'd only known Toby for 4 days, she decided not to get to know any other guys in the villa. We don't really know why she was expecting Toby to come back single, especially when you consider his track record. And surprise, surprise, Toby came back with Mary, leaving Abby single. Next up, Liberty chose to stick in a couple with Jake. Thankfully, Jake also returned to the villa alone, meaning that the relationship can continue. However, we're not very happy with Jake right now, because at Casa Amor, we got the sense that he was actively encouraging the other guys to flirt with the new girls. Kaz was up next, and she chose to recouple with Matthew. This was a wise choice because Tyler returned with new girl Clarice. Kaz still wasn't very happy with Tyler, however. To be fair, although Tyler had only known her 4 days, he definitely gave off the impression that he liked her way more than he did. Next up was Faye, who decided to recouple with new boy Sam. This caused heartbreak across the nation as Teddy decided to come back on his own. What hurts the most is that Teddy didn't even do anything wrong. The postcard showed him kissing as part of the dare. And let's not forget that he literally spent every night on the daybed outside. As Faye coupled up with Sam, however, he was now single. The recoupling ended with Millie. She did decide to stay loyal to Liam, however, she did have a few trust issues. Not gonna lie, we were expecting Liam to come back with Lily. Although to everyone's shock, he actually came back alone, meaning that he wanted to stick with Millie. Although Liam and Millie had a happy reunion, this didn't last long. Laura Whitmore brought the 3 girls that hadn't been picked from Casa Amor to the fire pit. This included Lily. When asked how they felt, Lily said she was shocked. She felt that she'd had a genuine connection with one of the boys and that she felt it had been reciprocated. This, of course, was Liam, which was then revealed. Millie was obviously really upset about this, and after the recoupling, she burst into tears. Although Liam and Millie do seem to be sticking together, their relationship is pretty much at square one. Toby and Abigail also had a conversation. He apologized and said that he feels really bad and said that he still has feelings for her. I guess we'll have to wait and see as to whether he chooses Mary or Abigail. Teddy and Faye also had a frank discussion about why she chose to recouple. Although Faye blamed this on the postcard, Teddy made it very clear that he's been nothing but faithful in Casa Amor. I guess we'll also have to see if Faye sticks with Sam or goes back to Teddy. Tonight's episode is also set to continue the drama as we're expecting a confrontation between Kaz and Tyler. What did you guys think about the Casa Amor recoupling? Let us know in the comments below. Also make sure you tune in every morning on the Pie Radio YouTube channel for recaps of episodes the night before. My name's Dani and this has been week 5 of the Pie Radio Love Island Weekly Rundowns. Stay tuned for next week.